Alright, it's Jared here from Hammer Down Farm Training, and we are going to talk about how to break this Glock 17 down a little bit further than we did when we cleaned it before. Hopefully this won't be quite as long as a video because we're not actually cleaning this time. We're just going to break it down a little bit further, and then we'll put it back together, and that'll be the end of the video. Make sure that if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, that you go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also go over to Facebook and follow and like that page there. Now before we get started, we are going to go ahead and clear. It is clear the magazine, and we talked about how to properly make sure that the gun was clear in the cleaning video, so we won't go over that again, but the weapon is clear. So point in safe direction, squeeze the trigger. Now we're going to go ahead and break it down. Alright, we talked about before. There's your frame. There's the spring. There's the barrel. And here's the slide. Alright, now, I guess we can discuss, let's get a little closer here. I guess we can go ahead and break the frame down. Now, this is for a Glock. Your guns are going to be different for your different name brand, Smith & Wesson, SIG, all that good stuff. But this is for Glock only. Most Glocks break down the same, but depending on what generation you got, it may have more pins in it. This one is Gen 5, and they have gone back to the single pin here versus the 2 pins, like in the Gen 4s. So we'll go ahead and pop that pin out. Now what you're going to need is you're going to need some punches, or you can use a Glock tool. It's just basically a punch. And we're going to use this hole here that I've got cut in this piece of wood and push it out. This pin is what holds in your trigger group, okay? All right, see how that popped out the other side? We're gonna pull that. All right, also the also holds in your lock and block, which is right here, okay? So we're gonna pull that, and we're gonna use our punch to go ahead and I'm gonna wedge out this lock and block. Now I haven't had this gun this far apart since I've had it. So there is that. Now what we also need to do is we need to take this back pin out that holds on our back strap. Okay, we gotta take that pin out. And for that one we're gonna use a smaller punch, and we're gonna do the same thing, use this hole. Push it through, it comes out just the same, and you'll be able to tell which one is which because obviously one's smaller than the other. And well, tell this back strap's on there pretty good, which is a great thing, because we know it's, there we go. We know it's going to be on there good while we're shooting. It's not going to come off. Okay, and I use the large back strap, also this beaver tail, because they have the ones that's just the back strap and the beaver tail. The beaver tail one prevents me from getting slide bite, because I get a good high grip on the gun like I'm supposed to when I shoot, to help manage that recoil. So that's the back strap I use. Now we've got both of these pins out. So now we can reach in here and pull that trigger group out, and our slide stop came out with it. Okay, and like I said, this is a dual. If you've got an older model Glock, it's going to be probably a single. All right, so this is our trigger group. Now you can see all that junk in there. You can see it's come off. This actually, you can actually take it apart this far and clean it if you'd like. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it. So completely up to you. Okay. So there's that. What we'll actually do though is I'm gonna go run and go get a washcloth. All right, we're back. We'll just wipe all this stuff off. I'm not really gonna clean it. Like I said, I want this video to be shorter than the last video was. Just get all that gunk off. And be careful with your trigger group. Okay, because it's easy to come apart. Right here, this piece here. I mean, it's easy to take apart, and it's harder to get, if you don't know what you're doing, to get it back together like it's supposed to be. So just be cautious there. Okay. Just be cautious. All right. So that is the trigger group. This is going to be the slide stop. Okay. A lot of people will say the slide release. It's not slide release, although when you hit it, it does release the slide forward. Your slide release is actually the breakdown lever. Okay. Which is actually this right here, which you use to break down the gun. Okay. Then you got your lock and block. That pin goes through, locks everything in nice and tight. We'll wipe that down. Pretty simple, all right? Now we're gonna put it back together, and then we're gonna take apart the slide. So you can wipe this down if you want, and you can see it's just a polymer frame. That's all it is. And it just sits right up in there. All this is a host for the parts. Okay. Wipe that down, get it nice and clean, get all the excess stuff out of there if you want. All right, then we're gonna take our trigger group, feed it back in there. Make sure it's in there good. Make sure your holes line up, which they do. Take our slide release, or I'm sorry, our slide stop. Set it right in there. Holes should still line up real nice. And they do. Then we're gonna take our locking block, which locks everything in place. Okay, and it slides right down in there. Just remember, this pin is going to go through. Okay, line your holes up nice and good there. All right, now it doesn't matter which pin you put in first or which one you take out first. It doesn't matter. I'm actually going to go ahead and put the front pin back in. Alright, let's see here. It doesn't matter which side it comes in from, but just remember that if it's hard to put in, then you probably don't have something lined up right, and you might want to readjust. You don't want to force. You don't ever want to force a pin in. Never force a pin in, and just get it even on both sides. There's a center groove on the pin that it kind of fits into. All right, so we're gonna take our back strap, slide it back on. Bottom goes in first. Make sure that's sitting in there nice and tight. Then script the gun and snap it in up top. Okay. And holes line up. Wipe this pin off. Remember, never force it. Okay. Never force it. There are times that you may have to use a hammer. They actually make a little Glock kit, but it's just a little, looks like a jewelry hammer to hit the back of the punch to remove the to remove the pins, but you should never have to use a hammer to put the pins back in. Okay. All right, now we're gonna move to the slide. Now, what do we take apart in the slide? Well, you got your back plate. Okay, we'll take it off. That'll bring out the firing pin spring, and then we can remove the safety buffer and the ejector, and we'll show you how to do that. All right. So, in order to remove this back plate, we have to take tension off of the firing spring right here. Okay. So in order to do that, there's a little plastic shroud right in here. Now, you can see that right in there. Okay, right in front of the firing pin piece that sticks out right here. Okay, so we're gonna take it and we're gonna push down on that. All right. Once we push down on that, we take that pressure off. Okay. Then we're gonna take and slide the back plate off. Now there's a spring right here. Okay. Right there. All right. Back plate's off. We can pull this out. Okay. And let the tension off of the firing pin. Okay. And then just slide it on out. Just like that. Slide it on out. And that thing is filthy. We'll wipe it down. And you know, this stuff, it needs to be somewhat lubricated, so it's okay that you don't clean it, you know, when you clean your gun every time, but every once in a while you may want to take it apart and give it a good cleaning. Ultrasonic cleaners work really well for this type of stuff. All right, we'll wipe that down, and I'll show it to you. Okay. Now remember what order you took these, or which way you took them out. So this piece right here, spring goes up. Don't put spring down. Spring goes up. All right. Now, that's your firing pin. Okay, that's what actually hits the primer on the bullet, makes it go bang. Okay. Your safety buffer here. So in order to remove the injector, we want to push down on the safety buffer, and then push down on the safety buffer. I can get it out. And the ejector slides right on out. The only thing that holds this injector in is tension. Okay. And this is what actually ejects the bullet, the extractor. This is what actually extracts the bullet casing or bullet, whichever one. The brass from the gun after you shoot it, and when you go to clear it, when that round pops out, that's what actually extracts it. Okay. Safety buffer. This is what allows the firing pin to drop once the trigger squeezes, because when you squeeze the trigger, this piece here pushes up on the safety buffer, which releases which allows space to release the firing pin. Okay. And it releases it right through that groove right here. Okay. We'll wipe that down. Now, like I said, if you're not comfortable taking this apart, taking your gun apart like this, don't do it. However, you should, at some point, have it taken down or do it yourself. Make sure it's nice and clean up in there, because they do get filthy. All right. And we don't want to get our lubricant off of this, but we want to wipe it down a little bit. And I shot this gun the other day. After we cleaned it, I didn't do a whole lot of shooting. I probably put, I don't know, 50, maybe 50 rounds through it. Not a whole lot. Make sure it's clean all up in there. All right. Now to get it back together, basically we just do the same thing in reverse. Okay. All right, now we're gonna put the ejector in. The extractor in. First, what we want to do is we want to put the safety buffer back in here. Make sure you get it turned the right way, because if you don't get it turned the right way, it won't go in. Okay. Make sure we get it turned the right way. Once we've got it turned the right way, I'm going to put the safety buffer in. The extractor in. Okay. And we want to put this piece in. Remember, spring up. Spring up. Okay. Push it down. Then you put your firing pin back in. Remember, when we took this firing pin out, we had to press down on that piece of plastic, which we have to do the same thing in there, that shroud. Okay, so we push it down with our finger, hold it down with that, with the punch, right? Take our back plate, okay? And slide it up in there. All right, once we get it past that piece of plastic, we can let it go. Then you have to push down on that spring, okay? And slide it on up in there until you hear it click, okay? There it is. It's all back together, okay? All right, now we can take our barrel, put our barrel back together. And guys, when you take this apart all the way, you can actually do a deep clean like when we cleaned the gun. The reason I didn't was because I just cleaned it, and I can wipe it down on the inside, and that's all I need. But if I was actually cleaning this entire gun like I did the other day, and I was gonna break it all the way down like that, I would actually take the time to brush everything and brush all the parts and that good stuff. Now, if you want your gun to operate smoother, when you take this out, you can polish. When you take the trigger grouping out, you can actually polish all the metal on here, and when you have polished metal on metal, it slides a lot easier. It doesn't have as much friction on it, and it makes your trigger squeeze a lot smoother. It can take some of the weight off the trigger. So that's something you can try if you want. I actually did it on my other weapon, and we'll eventually get to that one, and we'll clean that one instead of this one. This one's completely stock, the other one's not. It's actually a Frankenstein gun mixed between a Gen 4. It's actually got a Gen 4 slide on it, but the frame is a Gen 3, so I had to do some modifying on that gun. That's actually a beast. That's a competition gun there. Got a real smooth trigger squeeze on it, and it's got a compensator and all that good stuff on it. Did a lot of stippling work on it. So there again, once we get it back together, just like we always do, get it back together, we grab that slide, we squeeze the trigger, hold it, grab that slide, let that trigger reset come in, and then squeeze the trigger again. The gun functions correctly, so we know that everything was put back together like it's supposed to be put back together. So now we're confident that when we take it out to the range that it's going to fire. We always have to be confident in our weapon, right? All right, guys, like I said, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more like this, and for better videos, future videos to come, we will get out on the range here again shortly. And I've got some drills for you guys. I've got another warm-up for you guys. And we'll get out there and do that. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this one, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hammer Down Firearms Training Academy, and like this video. Leave some comments below. Give me some advice. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me your thoughts. Whatever you got going on. Also, go over to my Facebook page and follow my Facebook page, like my Facebook page, Hammer Down Training Academy LLC. Yeah. So, until then, always remember, in a defensive situation, your fate is only one hammer drop away. So be confident in your training. Go have a nice day.